Hello, so in the previous two videos you learned how to multiply matrices, and now we will see some examples and work through them. So our first example, we have these two matrices. The dimension of the first one is 2 by 3, so 2 rows, 3 columns. The dimension of the second one is 3 rows and 2 columns. And so we in fact see that these two numbers are equal, so we can multiply them, and we already know that our resulting matrix will have dimensions 2 by 2. So now we will put in practice what we learned, and in case you didn't quite get it, I hope you get it now, looking at the example. So what we will first do is take our first row and our first column of the second matrix, and we will multiply these two. So this tells us that since we're using the first row and our first column, our entry will be in 1, 1 right here in our first row and our first column. So we will multiply -2 times 1, which is the first element times the first element. Now our second, and we will add to that the multiplication of our second element times our second element, but here remember that it's the second element of the row, while here it's the second element of the column. So 3 times 3 is equal to 9, and then our last element, 8 times 1 is equal to 8. So we add these numbers and we get that this is equal to 15. So I will replace that ugly equation with just a 15. Very well, now let's go to still having our first row, but now times our second column. So we will do the same thing, the first element times the first element, and that is equal to 4, plus the second element times the second element, and that is equal to -15, then plus our third element times our third element, and that is equal to 56. And so if we add all of this, we get that this is equal to 45. So we can erase this and just put 45 right here. Very well, now we are done. We have multiplied all the columns times our first row, and so we know that we're basically done with this row, and let's now move on to our second row and go through multiplying through the columns again. And so here we have our second row times our first column, so we know it's gonna be the second row and our first column right here. And so 0 times 1 is equal to 0, plus 2 times 3 is equal to 6, 7 times 1 is equal to 7. And so if we add this, we get that this is equal to 13. So we replace all those plus and minuses with just a 13. And now we move on to our second column, so we're multiplying second row times second column, and so we know that in our resulting matrix this will be found in our second row and our second column right here. And so if we multiply both of them, we get that 0 times -2 is just equal to 0, then 2 times -5 is equal to -10, and then plus 7 times 7 is equal to 49. And so we get that the result of this is just 39. And this is our resulting matrix.